Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of October 23rd to the 29th. We are in it. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? It is eclipse energy, right? It is potent and it is going to continue this week. So, before I start, I just want to let you all know this is a week to bring in your self care, to bring in your own ways that you bring your energy up, that brings your focus back to you and your life, to joy, to gratitude, because there's a lot of things shifting right now. The darkness is being illuminated. That's what eclipses are, right? We are now seeing things in a new way. This is an opportunity for evolution for all of us. And we cannot do it singly. That's why this is a Libra season, because we're doing it as a group. We are doing it through unity. We are doing it through love, through compassion, to moderation, to mediation, right? How do we all find a win-win to this? We're coming through this together. I will not let this divide me. It's not going to happen. And if it's dividing you in this us versus them and judgment and hatred, and I want you to look at that within. Where's the fear? Where's the fear coming up for you? Because we are entering into Scorpio season, and Scorpio season likes to dig up the roots of fear, right? Look it in the face. So on Monday, October 23rd, we start off the week in a second quarter phase. We're building to the full moon eclipse in Taurus, and we start off with a moon in Aquarius. So this is very humanitarian moon. This can also be turned up too loud. Righteousness, right? The oppressor needs to be, held accountable, and we need to go after these people and do to them what they did to. Ugh, like eye for an eye will kill us all, right? This is that, Aquarius turned up just right is love, it's compassion, it's humanitarian. Is that, are we all taken care of? Are we all being looked at? Because there's a lot of people healing in this world and a lot of people hurting in this world on both sides of all the conflicts sides. Ugh. So when we have this, Aquarius nature, we can find the common good for everyone. It's very socialist. And then turned up too loud, it's idealism and, righteousness and, death to everyone else who doesn't believe what I believe in. So being aware of that, that's a theme for this week. So Monday, October 23rd, we have the sun moving into Scorpio. Halloween season is upon us. So as the sun moves into Scorpio, Scorpio is about death, rebirth, and transformation. It's not light. It is still water. It's fixed water. So think about the water at the depths of the ocean that holds all the secrets, that is at the bottom of the ocean and to the beginning of time. Scorpios, happy birthday, Scorpios, first of all. My mama is a Scorpio. Someone I love dearly is a Scorpio, and Scorpio is my rising sign. So I get Scorpios. So there is a depth and a passion to them, but you don't see it. They're not going to show you, right? They can come off as intense and passionate, but I always like to say with Scorpios, there is secrets on secrets on secrets on secrets. It's vaults on vaults and vaults. You will never, ever know the depths of a Scorpio unless they truly trust you. But even then, the people that they trust fully, they still hold some things back, or they might disperse it around. So not everyone will know who they really are. So as the sun entering Scorpio, when the sun is in Scorpio, we embody deep feelings, deep experiences, and deep connections. We want deep, meaningful changes, healing, and connections. All that is hidden, taboo, secret, and repressed interests us. And we are strong willed and we have the strength to dig deep to uncover unconscious patterns that are inevitably keeping us from our manifestations. So this is a great time to do healing work, to do therapy, to really dig up the ways that we are feeling and why we're feeling it, to have conversations with people you trust, and really help you to sort out what's coming up and what's happening for you. Because there is a lot of really wonderful people that care so deeply and then get triggered because it represents something deep within them, if that makes sense. So it's not always just what's happening in the world. Yes, there's horrible things happening in the world, but how are some of us not able, not feeling like death to all the people that have done these things? And some people are, right? Like some aren't, some are. And that's because there's a healing within. There's something that's within that's being reflected back. And maybe that's a helplessness. Maybe that's, I've been having lots of conversations about babies, babies being harmed and people being, caught off guard or yanked out of their homes. And there was a fear about that. And, one of my clients. So it's really about where is it hitting home for you? What is it triggering for you? On Tuesday, October 24th, we have the Sun trine to Saturn retrograde. So, Sun is our vitality again in Scorpio, right? So, it's like it wants to have this. It's both of these are water signs, and a trine is a harmony. These two are things are working together. But Saturn always brings a little bit of like a little bit of responsibility and discipline to the table. But this is a good energy for getting things done. This is a good energy of really following your intuition and seeing what are the blocks that are holding you back. Where are you now kind of not being supported in your life? And it's always comes from within, right? It's not where the support isn't from external, it's from within. So this is a great time to get hard things done. We have access to perseverance, determination, and patience. This is a wonderful time to set goals that are realistic and achievable with practical results. So, relationships with people in positions of authority go well now. Valuable guidance from people in power, elders, people who are sort of seen as authority or have had experience in these areas are going to help you if you're willing to listen. Willing to listen. Achievement and recognition are possible from previous hard work. You may take on added responsibility without adding stress, or as long as you feel in true alignment with it. So it's a great time to pass on your knowledge as well if you're an authority figure, and it's a really great time to get things done. So this is a good energy for the 24th. Now, as we move into the next major aspect is Saturday. So Saturday, we have this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, and there is some very big potent energy at play during this Taurus eclipse. So, just as a recap, an eclipse happens when a new moon or full moon is next to the nodes of the moon in astrology. And so this is now a lunar eclipse, meaning it's a full moon. So a solar eclipse is a new moon, a new moon. Lunar eclipse is a full moon, right? Lunar, full moon, you can see the moon. So that full moon is going to then be, this is a partial eclipse, so it's not as potent as a full eclipse, which is, thankfully at this point in time. And we have the full moon is the sun is in Scorpio, so the opposite sign is Taurus. And the Scorpio Taurus axis, the moon being in Scorpio and the sun being, the sun being in Scorpio and the moon being in Taurus, this axis is about mine versus ours. So my stuff, my possessions, my gifts and talents, my body, Taurus, and then my money, Taurus, my resources, Taurus, and then our shared resources, Scorpio. So shared resources encompasses things like inheritance, debt, taxes, things that we owe to other people, so they don't belong to us. It can be our spouse's money. And it also it encompasses ancestral trauma, right? Things that we inherit from our family, right? And Scorpio is inherently, it's one of the health houses. It occupies in the traditional wheel or the natural wheel, the eighth house of mental health and wellness, or our part of our health and wellness. I like to call it the mental health and wellness because it's like therapy, healing, ancestral trauma. Those things can be held in the body as well, but it's that kind of mental game. So when we are in Scorpio season, we are digging up the roots of things that are keeping us stuck. We are healing, we are having deep conversations and connections, and we don't want anything superficial. So this full moon in Taurus is illuminating where have you been investing your resources, kind of spending your resources, investing your resources, putting your resources towards things that are actually detracting from your self-worth, your overall wealth, and things that are kind of bringing you down, right? Relationships as well, since we're, just came out of Libra season and there's still some Libra energy that, well, not really, but it's also the relationships, in terms of mine versus yours, mine versus ours, where are you investing those resources? Now, this is a North Node eclipse. So this is where we are heading to as a collective. And this North Node eclipse means this is kind of our karmic destiny. So what are we where do we want to go, right? As a collective with our resources, with our wealth, what are we spending our money and time on? Is it on weaponry? Is it on stuff that empties, your bank account, but doesn't actually fill your soul? And it's, pulling from my past, it's like shopping, clothes, things that food, eating out, like where do you spend your money? And is it bringing in true wealth? Or is it just depleting because it's a momentary, taste of wealth, so to speak? So that experience of my wealth and how we're using our resources and are we using them wisely is going to be a big theme. Now, adding some more spice, because that's what we need right now is more spice to the mix, is the south node, which is our karmic past, is traveling with the sun, and that's normal in this eclipse. But we also have Mercury and Mars playing in that area of the sky as well in Scorpio. So Mars is our motivation, our desire, and Mercury is our mind and our communication. So we all are thinking about the past. So there can be a real propensity now to be dwelling in the past, what has been, and our mind loves the past, because it keeps us safe. It's known. The future, unknown. Who knows what's going to happen in there? You're trying to make new things happen. The brain's like, no, we don't know what that looks like. So there can be a real, I'm going to say, propensity or want to sit in past wounds, to sit in past patterns, to sit in the past in general and go, these things happened back then, and we're going to make sure it doesn't happen in the future because we are going to blow everybody out of the sky, like kind of bring in the karma, if you will. And that's not going to solve anything. Not going to solve anything, right? If we're living in the past, that's not going to solve anything. We want to solve from future. What do we want future? Where do we want to vision us to go? What would look amazing and feel great for everybody involved? For everybody involved, right? That is the key. And then there's a square to the nodes of the moon to Pluto. Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. Pluto is war. Pluto is really like evolution, but hard. Like wherever Pluto sits in your chart, you will always have kind of this hard transitions in life. I have it in my friendships house. My friendships go through massive transitions over time. I have amazing connections with people, and then it's gone. I have these wonderful moments of utopia and having these great experiences with wonderful people in my life, and then they're gone, and then it transforms into something else that's amazing and wonderful, and then it's gone. So it's that death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. So this Pluto square to these nodes, I want you to think about these. These are cardinal signs. These are signs that start things, that are evolutionary. So when we have, Aries and Libra is the axis of the nodes right now. So this is me versus we, my needs versus the needs of the collective, my needs versus union, non-division, non-division. That's pretty much it, right? This is my needs versus our needs. And the North Node is in Aries, which is this, where are we going to? If this is my needs, what's my individuality? This is what I have come to realize as truth for me. Where are we going with that? Division, right? What is true for the collective? What are we doing as union? Because if we divide, we cannot find peace ever. So Pluto is coming in here with Capricorn, which is patriarchy, governments, process, right? This is the way it's always been. This is how we do things. And Pluto's like, no. We're gonna break up that stuff because we're doing things in a new way. So Pluto's getting ready to move into Aquarius. And it's not gonna have that sitting in the old ways of doing things. When Pluto goes into Aquarius, we're gonna have some real big shakeups out there because the old school governments are gonna be like, what? The people, what? They don't want us to punish everybody. They want us to find peaceful resolutions. What? Well, that's not how we did it in the past. And no, we are not recreating the past. So there are massive opportunities for your soul's evolution. This energy is far too potent to try to control it. This is not a good time to manifest, right? I know new moons and full moons, we manifest. And, really, we're kind of beings that are always manifesting because you're always thinking about what you want and what you don't want. Right? You might even fixate on what you don't want with this, Mercury and Mars next to the South Node. And I'm going to ask you to focus on just what is coming up for you. Where can you bring healing to that? And how are you using your resources to bring about the outcomes you desire? That's really what it is. If you're trying to manifest a relationship or something else coming in your life right now, this energy is crazy. right? It's like a bucking bronco. And so you're trying to make this bucking bronco go in the way you're just try to stay on the bull. That's all you want to do. The Taurus is the bull, right? Just stay on the bull. That's all you got to do. You're not trying to make the bull go in a direction. You're just trying to stay on the bull. So do not manifest. Do not put out your crystals in this moon. Do not try to charge this moon water. It's going to be crazy energy. This energy is not good for manifesting. Please don't try to use it. And if you're like, no, I'd love to know how it goes for you, because I think that's also going to be a wonderful lesson in experiencing what that feels like, right? Because it's going to be interesting. That's what I'm going to say for you. So flowing with this energy. Now it has to do with values, money, resources, and things that bring us security. And conversely, because there's Scorpio involved, is where do you feel scarcity? You're going to feel that. So the last new moon in Taurus was on May 19th, 2023. So look back to see what was happening in your life then and what was an intention you might have set back then, and see how far you've come on that journey. This is a North Node eclipse, as I mentioned, and it's opposing Venus as well. Did I say that here? With an opposition to Venus. So we're being challenged to create relationships with boundaries that will help us to create stronger futures together. There's this T square to the nodes with Pluto. It's helping us to strip away old patterns that are preventing us from claiming the future we want. Claiming the future we want. So these old patterns, these old ways of being, they're coming up now to be seen, right? And they're going to come up to be seen as reflections back to you with people who don't agree with you, with things that you're seeing in the world that maybe really trigger the F out of you. And so I really am going to encourage you to talk to people, to really think about how this is working for you. Stop, observe, discern, and then act. Soda. Okay. And then also processing any grief that's coming up for you. That's going to be really important. All right, Sunday, October 29th, we have Mercury conjunct Mars. This is very active energy, but it's in Scorpio. So Scorpio, again, remember, death, rebirth, and transformation, fixed water, deep, passionate, also can be deep wounds coming back from traumas and patterns of being that we're trying to break and create new from, right? It's that transformational energy, but transformation only can come when something dies, right? So something has to die away for something new to begin. So you are very motivated and very passionate. This energy is super passionate energy. And this is still a bleed over from the eclipse. So this passionate energy can make you feel very righteous yet again. So being really careful with where you're placing this passion and who you are reflecting it off of. Who is reflecting back to you that they don't support your passion, that they're not part of the solution, that these people are wrong, that our division is continuing to ensue. That is the darkness, and we are not doing any more of that. We are bringing light. You're motivated and passionate about what you want to go after, and anything that and everything that aligns with your heart is your motivation now. This transit increases mental activity, and this is a great time for focused and acute thinking. You have access to a sharp tongue and to argue your case, speak convincingly, and persuade with vigor. Beware that you may come across strong and perhaps be taken as an intimidating or controlling force. Remember, you're the villain in someone's story, right? We're all the villain in someone's story. If someone's going to watch this and go, she's being too vague. She's being too wishy-washy. I don't know what she's talking about. It's fine. It's fine. It has nothing to do with me. I know where I stand. I know who I am, right? But if that's triggering somebody, that's then an opportunity for you to come and go, what does that mean? So in order for somebody to be a force, then they have to be opinionated. They have to be judgmental. They have to do all these things. I once had a trainer. I was working with a physical trainer, and she was really good. And so she was giving me things to help strengthen my body so I wasn't getting hurt and things like that. And so I went to after about a week working with her, I was like, I don't feel like anything's happening. Like I don't have any sore muscles the next day. I mean, a little bit here and there, but nothing like I used to when I was working out in my 20s. And a little different working out in your mid 40s, So she said, so does progress have to hurt? And I sat there for a moment. I was like, oh my gosh, progress has to hurt. Yeah. Does progress have to hurt? Does progress have to hurt for you? So we just said I should ask you that. So interesting, that interesting statement. I learned, work hard and progress is painful. And so when I was feeling like I wasn't making, I was making progress. I was seeing it in inches. I was seeing it on the scale. And she's like, "You're making progress, but does progress have to be painful then for you to feel like it's worthwhile?" I was like, oh, stab me in the front. So yeah, that was very interesting. So something for you to think about. Also be aware of making apt or being apt to be more aggressive and get into more arguments. This is fiery energy. I mean, even though we're in Scorpio, it's deeply passionate. So it's not fire, it's water, but it's deep water. So they are very passionate. Scorpios are very passionate about things like family, underdog, people that are being disadvantaged or taken advantage of. Like they're very passionate about that. That's a water sign. Water is inherently nurturing and cares about family and people who they consider to be family. You'll feel very courageous and you may be prone to making some rash decisions. Be mindful and discerning now. So, really be watchful where you're feeling like that knee jerk reaction to just like go off on somebody because that Mars energy can make you a little bit, a little hot headed. So, this is a week of potent energy, right? You can use it for your highest and best, or you can fall into old patterns. And Scorpio season is going to bring that all up to the surface. This is a deep session, a season. The word is looking for a season, not session, season. And so, of course, there's no surprise why Halloween is during this time, right? But one of the benefits is we've just come out of Libra season. So, the beginning of Libra season is kind of flavored with the beginning of Scorpio season is flavored with Libra energy of compassion and kindness and wanting to find kind of more amicable grounds. So keep that in mind, use that energy of Libra that we just came out of and see if you can find that commonality, that common ground, and to build bonds as opposed to break them, right? So wishing you love and so much grounding, connection to self, really, bringing in that joy, focusing on things in your life that really you're grateful for, because, we are so lucky to be living in this side of the world. And we still can send energy and hold the line of light and do things over here that makes it better over there too. We can still do that. So sending you lots of love, and I will see you next week.